Some big WrestleMania 41 plans have been announced. Aleister Black's WWE return leaked. Breaking news, grass actually not greener. Andrade seemingly frustrated with Triple H's booking, and more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Following his Dave Meltzer 5-star approved unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber, WWE announced that Sami Zayn would be out of action indefinitely. He was already kayfabe, suffering from a neck injury from Kevin Owens' package piledriver earlier that month. And then he was further killed by 2 pop-up powerbombs on the ring apron. His kayfabe condition is so severe, there's a very real possibility that Sami Zayn, someone who main evented Night 1 of WrestleMania 39 and who ended Gunther's undefeated streak for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 40, could miss the biggest show of the year next month. So maybe don't share how nice a time you're having with your celebrity friends on Twitter, Sami! Zayn has posted a gallery of images captioned "Fine company, fine food," with photos of him and his wife double dating with Oscar-winning actor Kieran Culkin. You're exposing the business, Sami Zayn! Kieran and his brother Macaulay Culkin are lifelong wrestling fans. In fact, in one moment during A Real Pain, the movie Kieran won his Best Supporting Oscar for, he starts doing the Bushwhackers walk. Macaulay has been shown in the audience of Raw twice this year already. Maybe they'll want to do a Culkin Boys trip to this year's SAM, the SmackDown After Mania, because apparently WWE are planning a big return. Oh, God! Oh, ouch. That was a flawless Aleister Black coffin entrance. Aleister Black WWE return confirmed. Black's 5-year run in WWE came to an end in 2021, where he was released just weeks into his new Dark Father character and a feud with Big E. But because someone in WWE reportedly never updated the non-compete clause in Black's contract to a main roster one, he was able to shockingly show up in AEW just a month later rather than the standard 90 days. He went straight into a feud with Cody Rhodes, beating him twice. In the crazy rise of AEW when CM Punk, Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole joined soon after, it seemed as though this guy we all loved in NXT but who was never booked right on the main roster could finally be about to break through as a proper top main eventer. Then he hardly did anything for the next few years. Rather than be booked as the singles competitor I think most of us wanted him to be, Malachi mostly featured in trios matches with his House of Black faction. He admitted to asking for his release from AEW in August 2022, the same month as the backstage brawl out with CM Punk, and shortly after Triple H, who had booked him very well in NXT, got control of the WWE main roster. There were also reports that Malachi would turn down creative if AEW had booked him to lose. His contract finally expired last month, making him a free agent. Then, on Friday's episode of SmackDown, a new vignette played of smoke on a black background with the number 4 appearing on the screen. According to PW Nexus, this is directly teasing Black's WWE return, which is expected to happen on the SmackDown following WrestleMania on the 25th of April. Interestingly, on the 27th of January, Black's real-life wife, Selena Vega, was weirdly removed from her LWO faction on Raw and moved to SmackDown. Just under 2 weeks later was when Black became a free agent. Perhaps WWE were already working towards Black's return in January by drafting Vega to the same brand that he'd be on. How do you think the number 4 ties into Aleister Black's WWE return? Let me know in the comments down below. Mysterious. Maybe the 4 stands for forgotten, as that seems to be how Andrade's feeling right now. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Andrade's 6-year run in WWE came to an end in 2021, where he was granted his release on the 21st of March. He debuted in AEW 3 months later in June, where his first feud of note was against Cody Rhodes later that year. And this time he had 3 separate managers: Jose the Assistant, Vicky Guerrero, and, very briefly, Chavo Guerrero. Then, he hardly did anything for the next few years. Andrade flipped between being a face and a heel. He was weirdly managed by CJ Perry, the former Lana, in a feud against Miro for a few months. He reunited and then quietly left La Faction Ignoble. Around the same time Malachi was requesting his release from AEW in 2022, Andrade, who also might have wanted to go back to WWE too with Triple H now in charge, reportedly went up to Sammy Guevara backstage and got in a fight. Andrade was suspended and didn't appear on TV again until June the next year on the debut episode of Collision, which is where, at the time, Tony Khan put all his difficult toys. Andrade's AEW contract expired at the end of 2023, and he made his return to WWE in the following month's Royal Rumble. Andrade had what I'd seemingly wanted for the last year and a half. He was in WWE again, where his then wife Charlotte Flair also worked, with Triple H booking him on SmackDown. By June, he was wrestling on WWE Speed. Outside of a fun series of matches with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, Andrade hasn't done anything of note since his WWE return, and this might be making him annoyed. As just like his semi-frustrated tweets back in AEW, he's now posted, "Waiting!" 3 exclamation marks! With a black and white poster of him sitting on some steps. The replies are either fans asking Triple H to book him more on TV, or for him to return to go back to AEW. That's Twitter for you. Not including the Royal Rumble match, Andrade has only been booked 3 times this year, beating The Miz once, but losing to Jacob Fatu and Shinsuke Nakamura as well. Speaking of Nakamura, following his shock US title loss on the 15th of March episode of SmackDown, because every TV episode now has a title change on, a rumor started to spread online that Nakamura was leaving WWE. Came out this was falsely attributed to a report from PW Torch, who never said anything about Nakamura leaving the company. WWE themselves then confirmed to the Wrestling Observer that story wasn't true, but they didn't answer whether Nakamura had his last match in the company. Turns out they didn't have to clarify that last point, as Nakamura wrestled on last Friday's SmackDown, losing to Damian Priest, and he then went on to lose to LA Knight on both of WWE's live tour dates in Germany over the weekend. Before I get into the rest of the news, our brand new video game series Dom and Sally Play is now live. Here's a clip of them trying to beat Split Fiction.
I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna swing. Oh, look at you swinging all higher than me. This is, I felt like, I know this is meant to be a cooperative game, but I feel in constant competition with you. It's like
incompetent? You feel incompetent? That's what you say?
No.
I know this is meant to be a cooperative game, but I feel incompetent. Sullivan Brown, 2025. You heard it here, folks.
No, don't quote me on that. Oh, fuck.
Now you have to put into practice all you've learned about jumping and dashing. Oh no, I failed!
Watch that immediately after this news by clicking the video in the description below. While Nakamura apparently isn't leaving WWE, Lilian Garcia is leaving SmackDown, as she shared on Instagram. Just finished announcing SmackDown in Barcelona, Spain, and it was absolutely incredible. Gracias por todo el amor España. Corazón emoji! It's Spanish for heart. But now I have some news that this will be my last show as the full-time SmackDown announcer. A new era is upon us, but I will still be with the company as I will be announcing for all WWE Saturday night's main event shows on NBC and Peacock, singing at certain special events, and currently working on other show ideas with WWE, winky face emoji. WWE is my home, so stay tuned as a new chapter begins. I invite all of you to continue this journey with me as we share it together. Bottom line, thank you, and I love you dearly. Lilian took over following Samantha Irvine leaving WWE last October. Garcia was always likely a temporary replacement. WWE's main ring announcers are currently Alicia Taylor on Raw and Mike Rome on NXT. Even though we kinda just had a roster refresh with the Netflix move in January and the ensuing transfer portal, PW Insider is reporting a full draft following WrestleMania 41. Along with Aleister Black's WWE return reportedly happening on the SmackDown after Mania, and Rey Fenix potentially debuting to form the Lucha Bros on Raw with Penta before then, there is also heavy speculation on New Japan wrestler Jeff Cobb. Fightful reported that WWE had interest in Cobb, who is currently a free agent, late last week. It was then said that Cobb has even been listed on WWE's internal roster, but Fightful couldn't confirm that. On the day those reports came out, Cobb was set to face Naito in the New Japan Cup. So when Cobb beat Naito, a former heavyweight champion, a bit of doubt was cast on those WWE debut reports. The following night, though, Cobb lost to Shota Umino. In his post-match interview, he interestingly made a reference to WWE's Roman Reigns. I'm gonna be a good boy and finish this tournament tour, and whoever walks out the New Japan Cup champion, I will come knock knock knocking, and whoever it is I have to fight, you will acknowledge me. But the biggest appearance he could have had in all of wrestling over the last year was Stone Cold Steve Austin instead of The Undertaker in the WrestleMania 40 main event. Better late than never, I guess, because Stone Cold has been confirmed for an appearance at the WrestleMania 41 weekend, where he's set to appear at WWE World in Las Vegas. The announcement was fittingly made yesterday, the 16th of March, aka Stone Cold Day, 316. Austin didn't get to have one last stare down with The Rock last year. Perhaps he saw how much fun it all was and is going to get in on the action this time round. Click the video on screen now to go watch Dom and Sullivan play Split Fiction.